Let's get real for a second and talk about something, well, kind of uncomfortable. The business graveyard. You know, the place that's absolutely filled with brilliant ideas and incredibly passionate people. Now, this isn't about crushing dreams. Not at all. It's about facing the hard reality of what it actually takes to win.
Here's our game plan. First, we're going to take a quick tour of that startup graveyard. Then, we'll get into the 3 fatal mistakes that land so many businesses there. After that, we're going to flip the script and talk about a winning mindset, look at some real proof, and then wrap it all up with 5 simple but tough laws of survival. Let's dive in.
Section 1, the startup graveyard. Yeah, we're starting with the unpleasant part, because we have to get real about the odds and the dangerous illusions that trip up way too many founders right out of the gate.
Let's start with just one single stark number. 80%. Just let that sink in for a second. 8 out of every 10 startups, full of all that bright-eyed ambition and energy, are completely gone within a single year. I don't mean pivoting, I don't mean struggling. I mean just gone.
And here's the first hard truth, and man, this one is blunt. Your idea is probably not unique. In fact, you know what's one of the most common traits we find in that graveyard? It's the belief that we're different. And that thinking leads to this romantic but absolutely deadly idea, we'll manage on our own. It sounds heroic, right? Like that scrappy underdog story we all love to root for. But in the real world, it's pretty much economic suicide. It's a pattern that just repeats and repeats.
So, the big question is why? Why does so many fail? Look, it's not just bad luck. It turns out there are 3 very specific, very fatal mistakes that show up over and over again. Let's break them down.
First up, you have the naive founders. These folks operate under one incredibly dangerous belief, that money solves every single problem. Their whole focus, their entire strategy is just chasing funding, because they're convinced that cash will magically fix everything else.
And this quote just nails it perfectly. Capital without a strategy is fuel in a car without a driver. I mean, think about it. What good is a full tank of gas if you don't have a map, you don't have a destination, and you have no clue how to even drive the car? The money is a tool, right? It's not the solution itself.
But hey, it's not just the founders making these mistakes. Mistake number 2 comes from the other side of the table. Overconfident investors. Oh, you've met these types. They're the ones who famously trust their gut feeling over hard data, getting completely swayed by a slick pitch because they think they can see through people. And what's the result of that gut feeling? Millions and millions of dollars get poured into charismatic, empty suits who can deliver a fantastic presentation with absolutely zero substance to back it up. It is a very, very costly mistake, and it happens all the time.
And the third classic archetype of failure, the bureaucratic corporation. These are the big established companies that just love the idea of innovation. They're great at launching committees and innovation labs, but all that process, all those meetings, end up strangling any real progress.
And here's the massive disconnect, right? The stated goal is always innovation. But what's the reality? It's reports, not results. It's endless slide decks, not actual solutions. The process itself becomes the product, and nothing truly new ever actually ships.
So if that's what doesn't work, what does? This is where we need to pivot to a totally different mindset. And it's built around a really powerful and, sobering metaphor. Business is war.
Now let's be super clear here. This isn't about being aggressive just for the fun of it. It's about a fundamental shift in how you see the world. It's about preparation, it's about strategy, and it's about accepting that the market is a battlefield. The winner isn't the one with the prettiest flag or the most passionate mission statement. It's the one who is best equipped for the fight.
So what do we mean by essential weapons? Well, think of it like a 4-point checklist for survival. You absolutely need intelligence, that's your data, your analytics. You need weapons, that's your capital and your tools. You need allies, your partners and your networks. And maybe most importantly, you need a strategy, one that's built on the hard-won experience of those who've actually survived.
But, talk is cheap. Does this kind of professional, systematic approach actually work in the real world? Well, let's look at the proof, because the results speak for themselves.
The proof is right here. I mean, just look at this. You have a fintech company rejected by literally everyone, then gets a 9x exit after a real strategy is put in place. Or the agri-tech startup going from 0 connections to a 7x revenue growth. Even a big corporation that's stalling out finds 12% in cost savings. And my favorite might be the e-commerce business, starting at $200K and growing to $4.5 million. The pattern is just undeniable. A professional, strategic approach gets real, measurable results.
So let's bring this all home, shall we?
This entire mindset can really be boiled down into 5 simple laws of survival. The source material calls it the harsh comfort of reality, and you know what? I think that's a perfect way to describe it.
Take a look at these. Law number 1, your idea by itself is worthless. It's all about product, customers, and a model that works. 2, investors are not your personal ATM. They expect a return on their money, not your tears. 3, big corporations can't innovate in a vacuum. They need that external fuel. Number 4 is a tough one. Mistakes aren't always experience. Sometimes they're just mistakes. And finally, number 5, the market is brutal. It does not give second chances.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. Business is not some fairy tale about hustle and passion. It's a brutal filtering system. Don't get me wrong, passion is required fuel, but it is not enough on its own. The system rewards preparation, it rewards strategy, and it rewards the humility to know when you need help. So, we end with a pretty direct challenge. Do you want to be just another line in the statistics of failure? Or do you want to build something that actually survives long enough to matter? Because the market doesn't care about your dreams. It only respects results. The choice really is yours.